The movie begins with a voice of a 117-years-old woman trying to explain to us that mankind came from the ocean, and when our life journey as human beings on this earth is finished, our souls return back to the ocean as beautiful fishes. Long ago, when the earth was young, all that existed was a vast ocean and great primordial fish that lived in it. These ancient beings were the first incarnation of the human soul. The voice of the old woman narrating to us is called Chen, who tells us that she comes from a world beneath the ocean. The sky of their world is connected to the ocean of the human world. Once a human dies, their souls drift down from our world to their world, and it is their task to watch over them and keep them safe. People from her world are the ones who controls time, the tides and the changing of seasons. They are not humans or gods. The woman tells us her kind are called the others. In their world, we see a girl called Chun riding a boat, but a man shows up on a bird and informs Chun to hurry as the rite of passage is about to begin. Chun quickly meets with Lei Zhu, whose job is to wove a new sky for the humans. Chun and her friend Choi borrow her horses and rushes to the ceremony. In their world, every child who has turned 16 is being sent to the human world in a rite of passage ceremony so they can see for themselves how they control the rain, the wind, the sun, and the stars. Chun just clocked 16 and will be joining the other 16-years-olds to go to the human world. The elder let the kids know that they will only be allowed to roam the human world for 7 days and observe the natural laws they govern, but warns them that they must not have any contact with mankind. After some ceremonial dances, the elder calls on the dragon of sea and sky who opens the gates to the human world. Chun, overprotective mother, tries to give her so much food since she will be on her own for the first time. Her mom cautions her to return back to the gate after 7 days or she will stay in the human world forever. All the 16-year-olds are given some soup to drink, including Chun, which turns them to red dolphins as they ascend towards the gates. Chun mom cries, saying the human world is beautiful but dangerous and should remember that her world is here. Just as Chun got to the human world, all she has been told is true. The human world is really beautiful. A young human girl informs her brother Kun that the red dolphins are back again just like last year and the same time. For 6 days, Chun explored the human world. She saw wooden sailing ships and lights that flickered and danced across the heavens. She saw the candles that the humans lit to accompany the souls of the departed on their journey down to the rivers to the sea. After exploring the human world for 7 days, it was now time for Chun to go home. Meanwhile, a human boy called Kun, who admires fishes, rubs some dolphin food around his body to attract them to him. Just as he dives to the ocean, due to the food on his body, the dolphins and all kinds of fishes surrounds him. Just as he plays with the fishes, he noticed a red dolphin who turns out to be Chun staring at him. Kun tries to approach her, but she runs away from him. He tells his sister that there is something really different about that dolphin. At nightfall, just as Kun plays his flute, Chun comes out to listen to the beautiful sound, but she later realized that the 7th and the last day is almost over and had to get back before the gate closes. Just as she hurries back, she sees some fishes trapped in a net and goes back to save them, but unfortunately, she ended up getting trapped herself. Kun is being notified by his sister how the red dolphin is being caught in a net. Quickly, Kun gets his knife and dives into the ocean. Kun tries to set her free, but it becomes much harder for him since the dolphin thinks he is trying to harm her. After freeing her, the dolphin hits him with her tail, which sends him towards the storm, which drowns him really deep in the ocean. Chun realizes what she has done and tries to save him, but it's already too late. Kun died after consuming so much water. Chun returns back to her world and is welcomed by her parents, but she appears to be really sad due to Kun's death. The next morning, Chun pays a visit to the village elder to know where the humans go when they die. He tells her that their body is turned back into dust from which they were made, while their souls go to the Ascendance Palace where they are transformed into tiny fishes and watched over by the Lady of Souls, Ling Po. Chun goes to sit alone far from the village where she begins to play Kun flute. This is enjoyed by a gigantic statue who turns out to be alive. Chun tells the statue that the flute belongs to a human boy who is now dead because of her, but in reply, the statue drops a bell saying the Lady of Souls can help her. He tells her to come back here at midnight and ring the bell and someone will come for her. At midnight, Chun sneaks out of the house and hurries to the place. She is spotted by her friend Choi, who follows her to see where she's going. Just as Chun arrives at the place and rings the bell, a mythical being arrives on a boat and takes Chun to a gigantic mansion. Chun rings the bell again, and this unlocks the password of the door, where Chun is met by the Lady of Souls. Chun tells the Lady of Souls that she's looking for the soul of a human boy. The Lady of Soul, who realized what Chun is trying to do, warns her that it goes against the laws of nature and the punishment for those that defies nature is harsh, but Chun doesn't care as long as she can save his soul. Anyway, the Lady of Souls concludes that resurrecting someone from the dead doesn't come cheap. Chun has to give one of her body parts to her in return. But this is going to be a very painful process, so instead of doing that, the Lady of Souls decided to take half of her life instead in exchange of the soul. Chun is taken to the Hall of Souls where all human souls are kept after death. They are in form of a fish, but it doesn't take that long for Chun to find Kun's soul because she remembers everything about him apart from his name. The Lady of Souls then takes a piece of her soul to wake him, and now their lives are bound together. Now is up to Chun to guide and protect him through all the difficulties ahead until he is grown enough to return to his world and be restored to life. If she fails to protect him, his soul will vanish into the void forever. Just as Chun watches over the fish and thinks of a name to give it, Choi shows up and tells her to name the fish Kun because there is this enormous fish in the ocean that can fly, and its name is Kun. Just after a few days, Kun did not only grow bigger, but he also started to fly. The next morning when Chun wakes up, she goes to her small pond where she left Kun but couldn't find him. Chun finds out her mom was in her room this morning and she threw the fish into the sewers. Chun goes out angrily saying what she just threw was a human life, leaving her mom curious. Choi meets Chun and tells her not to be upset because he knows where to find Kun. After they got to the sewers, Choi volunteers to go inside to find Kun, but they are met by an elderly woman who is being followed by rats everywhere. She falls in love with Choi because of his good scent and appears to know that they are looking for a fish given to them by the Lady of Souls. All the good people who dies are turned into fishes and are given to the Lady of Souls, while all the bad people are turned into rats and are given to her. The old lady agrees to help them under the condition of Choi having a little dance with her. After that, she orders her rats into the sewers and they were able to bring Kun out of the mud. Chun decides to live the fish in a village well. A boy who watches them goes to check what they placed inside the well only to be shocked to see a fish. A fish in their world can lead them to total destruction, so the boy goes to inform the village elder who goes to check but sees nothing. But he noticed weird happenings in the village like the unseasoned weathers and salty rain, which he believes to be bad omens, and tells the villagers to stay vigilant. Chun and Choi takes Kun to a river deep in the forest where none of the villagers will find it. Choi senses something hiding beside them, and as he goes to check, a large snake emerges from the woods and attacks Chun, but the fish defends her. Choi fights the snake, but he gets bitten because he didn't realize it was a two-headed snake. He defeats the snake anyway, but falls to the ground unconscious due to the poison from the snake. Chun carries the unconscious Choi to her grandfather, who has talents in healing. After observing Choi's body, her grandpa nods his head because Choi is going to die since the antidote for a two-headed snake doesn't exist. After a while, her grandpa realizes there is one way to save his life and tells Chun to wait outside. Her grandpa absolves the poison inside Choi's body and transfers it to his body. Chun is excited to see Choi alive and well again, but later realized there was a cost to this action, which is her grandpa's life. Her grandpa tells her not to blame herself because even if he didn't sacrifice his life to save Choi, he will still soon die of old age. It is the natural order of things. After Chun's grandpa dies, he is transformed into a begonia tree, which protects the birds and gives them a home, including his wife, whom after her death was transformed into a phoenix bird. For the first time in their world, the season falls into chaos and the villagers feel something bad is in their presence. Chun reveals to Choi that she won't be alive when her parents get as old as her granddad. Just when they need her to look after them, she will be gone. Chun reveals that she had traded half of her life to save Kun. After Chun left, the elderly woman from back then communicates with Choi through a cat, informing him that the villagers are beginning to suspect Chun and warns that if they find Kun, Chun will be punished for breaking the rules of nature. To avoid Chun from getting punished, Choi quickly takes Kun and places him in the mountain's river, telling him to leave if he cares about Chun. Chun gets angry with Choi for placing Kun into the river and goes to search for him. She gets drowned, but luckily, that old woman sends her rat to save her. Choi sees Chun and Kun unconscious in the snow and takes them to a warm place. During their recovery, Chun dreams of the day where Kun returned back to the world of the humans. Upon hearing Chun's conversation on how Kun means so much to her, he immediately goes to see the Lady of Souls to bargain half his life so Chun can gain back her full life. The Lady of Souls tells him the price has gone up and demands his entire lifespan as payment, while warning that Chun will die regardless when Kun returns to the human world. The Soul Keeper whispers to Choi how to save Chun from this fate. The presence of a human soul, which is in form of a fish, will bring destruction and calamity in their world. The villagers realizes that Chun is with a human soul, and that has been the cause of the bad omens happening in their world. They all gather together and unite their powers to kill Kun and restore balance to their world. Just at the dying moment when the villagers were almost able to get rid of Kun, Choi shows up and uses the staff of the village elder to open the world of humans for Chun and Kun to escape there. But just as Chun and Kun went through the portal, that old woman shows up and tells Choi that she will never be able to pass through the gates without an object from the human world. It is revealed the woman stole a flute that belongs to Kun, and since it's an object from the human world, the woman is able to pass through the gate. The Sea of Humans is the sky of this world, so the gaps in the clouds violently floods the entire village and leave it in ruins. The villagers with their powers continue to attack Kun as he escapes to the human world. Chun asks her granddad for help out of the situation, and he responds by sending his wife in form of a phoenix to help her out. Things begins to go out of control in their world as flood covers the entire village. To prevent themselves from getting drowned, the villagers uses their powers to create a bridge connecting it to a very high mountain. Chun goes to help them out, but they reject her offer. A child is missing because of the flood, and they blame it on Chun. Seeing her world will be destroyed by the flood in no time, Chun, as a last resort, sacrifices herself by merging her body with her grandfather's begonia tree to grow it to colossal proportions, plugging the holes in the sky and saving everyone from the flood. Instead of returning back to Earth, Kun decided to remove a branch from the begonia tree and handed it to the Lady of Souls, who used it to restore Chun's life. The Lady of Souls tells Chun her powers has been lost due to the sacrifice she did to save her people, and now she no longer belongs in this world but the human world. Chun immediately sets out on her journey to return to the human world with Kun. Choi, overwhelmed with regret in knowing they are spending their last night together, is unable to express his feelings for her. The next morning, Chun says Kun goodbye as Chio opens one last portal for his return. Choi, following the Lady of Souls' instructions, casts a spell that will send Chun to the human world while killing him by setting him on magical fire. As Choi burns away, he reveals to Chun that he'll be with her always. Chun is transformed into a red dolphin, allowing her to follow Kun through the portal. On a seashore in the human world, Kun and Chun wash ashore in their human forms. As Kun regains consciousness, he sees Chun holding out her hand to him. In a mid-credits scene, the Soul Keeper restores Choi to life from his ashes and declares Choi her successor, revealing the true cost of Choi's sacrifice for Chun. Thank you for watching, guys. If you love animation movies, please subscribe to this channel and keep watching. Bye.